Okay, Hadbro Horsham. We're on the sheet that I sent you and on Sultan's, and I would just go through the fill licks that he uses. It's down at verse 1, down where it says verse 1, and that's where we're going to start. And the action starts, as far as the fill starts, at verse 4 on the song part. So it starts off on the standard progression for this song, which is D minor, C, B, A. So it goes through, starting with the verse on the first measure. And what's marked as lick 2 is just, I'm taking string 3, fret 4, and bending it and kind of vibratoing it, as they actually show that on this. And what that's actually doing is I'm moving this string, I'm bending this up to 2 frets to the C sharp on, because we ended on an A chord at this point. That's where it is. So it's an A, and at that A is using the shape, excuse me, the standard shape. And when they get here, anything like that, he wants to end with this C. The thing that makes it sound neat is he then goes from this C sharp right here, and the next chord is a D minor, and it goes right to the tonic, the D. That's why this sounds so good right there. I've always told you when you play the blues or a lot of accompaniment, you want to end on the tonic note of the chord. Well, the tonic note of the chord is the A, and he's ending on the third, because that third of the A chord goes right to the tonic of the follow-up D minor chord. So you could use this shape. Anything like that would work. If you wanted to try to work that in, to this, where it just is this. And that's just up to you. Just note that it is this shape right here, starting A, and in the standard shape that you first learned for a pentatonic scale. This is the major pentatonic for A, because you're playing an A major chord. This comes to an A major chord, that the end of that phrase. So then he goes from lick 2, it just picks up again. It goes C, B flat, A, and he just, same thing, he's sliding through this, he's sliding through that minor, and he's hitting string 3, fret 6, string 1, fret 5, and he's alternating those. He's just going and giving a little vibrato. And he shows this as 3 times. You go, so it would be that sound that you'll hear. The song then goes to an F chord. And it goes to a C. And at that point, you are down here at, by the way, this was lick 3 at fret 7. And you hear where that comes in. That comes in against this A. And if you look, there's the A right here. That looks like the A chord right here. Just a part of it. And I can't emphasize enough that just to visualize these chords, And he's using parts of these chords, playing them mostly as intervals, and it gives this song that kind of mysterious sound that it has, along with the vibrato and just some perfectly engineered shifts from one chord to another that we'll get into as we keep going deeper. So that's lick 3, and then he comes to the next lick is lick 4. It's up here at fret 8, and that's at this F part. Bend is blowing Dixie, double 4 time, and it goes to a C. And at that point, he's going, and what he's doing there, the way this is played, I play it a little differently, I'll show you that. But he's got strings 2, 3, and 4. And he's plucking these together. He's doing it twice. So he goes, and then puts down, starts off twice here, strings 2, 3, and 4 at fret 5. That's at measure 8 at clearly marked lick 4. That's the two strikes right there. Very staccato. And then just keep your finger right where it is. That's at fret 5, strings 2, 3, and 4. Put your middle finger at string 2, fret 6, and at string 4, fret 7. Now, and note, these are the same notes you've been using throughout. You're going to see the same things over and over. That's important to know that. And he hits, and then slides up. He hits with this middle finger, this other formation that looks an awful lot like he's playing an F major chord here. That would be an F major chord. The C chord slid down to here would be F major. And he's going up here to what is a B flat chord. So it's, excuse me, that's measure 8, 9, and 10. It ends in 10. And it's simply as this. Measure 8, measure 9, to the B flat, and that's in measure 10. So let's move on to the final part of that, and that is here in my papers, to lick 5 at measure 11, and that goes like this. I'm gonna make this continuous for you. He goes, and that ends at measure 10, and then measure 11 he picks up, and that's measure 11. He starts index or middle, get it right, the ring finger at string 4, fret 5, and slides that down to fret 7, and then index on string 4, fret 7, and I'm playing it my way. I'm sorry. He's played this way. I'm going to show you an alternate. He goes 5. He slides that down to fret 7 with his index finger, and then hits, and then slides it over his index finger, so that I'm now holding strings 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, with my index finger. They're down at fret 7, and he hits fret. Here, let me play it for you and watch what I'm doing. So, string 4, fret 5, string 4, fret 7, just as you'll see on the sheet. String 3, fret 7, and string 4, fret 7, and then string 3, fret 10, and end up at string 3, fret 7. So that becomes, and he then goes to 7 and 8, and that is either put your index finger, that'd probably be easier for you, your index finger on string 3, fret 7, middle finger on string 4, fret 8, and slides that down to string index finger on string 3, fret 9, and middle finger on string 4, fret 10. And that, what I just played, is measures 15 and 16, and then he goes should be that. Is that what he's playing? Yeah, okay, up here. At the end of measure 16, he starts with 5, and put your ring finger on string 5, fret 5, and then slide that down to string 5, fret 7, and then string 4, fret 7, and ends up with that. This entire thing, starting at measure 10, measure 11 goes, find measure 11, it's on or it's on sheet 1, and he goes, and now you're over at measure 11 on sheet 2, and he goes, and then comes right up to measure 12. And what I want you to see is that is part right there. You're going from a B flat chord, which is down here. If you made the entire B flat chord, just go up here, E, F, F sharp, G, G, A, B flat, and you look right at string 3, where your fingers are at strings 3 and 4. That's what he's playing here as an interval. And he slides it down to what would be a C chord right here. And then he comes up, which is string 5, fret 5, and ends up on this C note, which is a C chord. And then the song, we'll pick it up in the future, goes back to the D minor portion again. But what you want to realize, that last part that you're playing here is part of a C major pentatonic scale. That C major pentatonic scale, starting at string 6, fret 8, played slowly, is the same as an A minor pentatonic scale played at string 5, fret 5, except that instead of starting at string 5, fret 5, you start at string 5, fret 8, but you do the same fingering. And that's what this is. And so that is the fingering on here. I have a couple changes. I'll do that in the next lesson.